we were done with leagues 4 days ago, 5 days ago. We finished every single possible thing that there was to do besides Dragon Cup, which I never had any intention of going for. Speaking of leagues, I've been thinking, and I would like to have a little conversation if you guys are down, but what did you not like about leagues? Was there anything that you wish was a bit better? Was there any way we can make the experience better for Jagex? Do you have any feedback? What did you guys think of it? The quest. Yeah, the quest was a pretty big topic. I think a lot of people did not like the quest. And that is one of the things that I had a little bit of an issue with as well, I would say, is the quest felt like they should have been optional. You know what I mean? The slow start. Yeah, that is a good one. I'll write that one down. It felt... I was complaining about this a little bit, but the first day felt like a slog. I don't know what they can do to fix that. Now, once you got your build, it accelerated pretty quickly. But the first couple of days, or like the first day played, felt pretty slow. And then it ramped. It ramped very fast. But I could see how maybe some people would feel like it was not fast enough at the start. They said they tried to make this league slower. Okay. So that maybe this was intended. I'm not sure if that worked or not, but it did feel a bit slow at the start. Bug testing before it gets released, always better to wait a couple of weeks to play, I guess. I like the XP from some quests. It was overwhelming for the first couple of days, but then it got fun. Buff everything so we can one-shot Zuck with one hit. More resets and multiple layouts. Okay. I'll tell you guys a couple of things that I had, kind of written down. Number one, I think that nothing should be locked behind quests. I would love if quests were optional and you could do them if you wanted the XP, but having to do Final Dawn in order to do Doom, I would love if that was not a thing. If you want to do Final Dawn to send it to get the Archon Blade or to, to just get the experience from the quest, or if you've never done that quest before in the main game and you kind of wanted to just see what it was like in leagues and you wanted to use leagues as a way to skip the early game quest so you could just do the Grand Master quest, I think that would be pretty cool. So that's kind of the one change I probably would have made, at least for the next one. How do you guys feel about the drop rates in leagues? Do you for me, I did not like going dry in leagues. It felt a bit discouraging. Is there any way, would it be bad to either add dry protection or buff the drop rates a bit? If you didn't go dry, you would have finished in 3 days. Okay. So I have another... I did think about that, and if they did buff the drop rates, I would have finished even faster. But I have another idea to kind of combat that. I was thinking, number one, maybe they don't buff the drop rates, but they do like a 2 times dry protection on everything, just like how they have it on the Echo bosses. But what I was actually thinking is, why are we restricted to 3 zones? Has anybody thought about what leagues could have been like if they didn't restrict the zones? Why can we only play 3 zones? You know what I mean? Isn't leagues a place where people can experience the game at a expedited rate? They did that for leagues 2 or 3, and they said they're never going back to it. Okay, so this has happened before. So I have not played any other league besides this one. The meta gets stale so fast with the whole game unlocked. So by restricting 60% of the game, or whatever it is, I made up that percentage, people play different builds. They're trying to force uniqueness. They make you make another account to play the regions. Maybe all zones open up for you after your league points or something. So I don't want to make another account. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And I can only speak from my experience and what I think about the experience that I had. Number one, I would have loved to kill all of the other Echo bosses to see what they were like. Number two, it would have been cool to, try different bosses that I've never gotten to play. Like even Corp Beast, I've never done that. It could be fun to just go and do that in leagues. If I was watching Ryan, the RS3 guy, and I saw him, doing Cox for the very first time, and they were going in blind, him and Pup, and that looked really fun. And I was thinking like, wow, he won't be able to try TOA. He won't be able to try Tob, but it looks like he's having a lot of fun in these raids, right? So he would have to make another character if he wanted to try any different raids. And I was thinking, man, what if you could like lock your points or something, and then you could unlock different areas of the game, but you're not getting any points for being in there anymore? Like the option or the ability to unlock everything in the game, maybe at some kind of penalty, would be nice. Because once you finish your 3 zones, you get your points, and then you get your gear, there isn't much else for you to do. But if you had the ability to farm more packed resets, or you had the ability to farm to unlock more areas so that you could unlock the rest of the game, I think that could be fun potentially, just so that you could go and try the Echo bosses, or you could go and try the raids with your build and see how it does. It would be nice. And this is just something that I was thinking about, but I don't know if locking your character permanently to 3 zones. I like it at the start, but eventually I think you should be able to maybe unlock the rest of the zones. And then that way you can play through the entire game on leagues. And otherwise you're going to have to just make another character. But I would like that. Because there's just way too much of the game that you do not get to play when you restrict it to 3 zones. And so it's cool to like make your build and strategize and theory craft over that. But eventually it would be nice to just unlock the whole game. Also, I wanted to talk about Thorns because defense, in my opinion, should never be like more damage over offense. And a lot of times when you're stacking defense to get more damage, it kind of breaks the game a bit. I think that Thorns could have been fixed very easily. And instead of, you guys know how when Thorns, it always rolls a max hit. Every time you get hit, the other person max hits on your Thorns damage. Like, all they had to do was make it a 0 to 100% roll. So that Thorns will sometimes hit 0s, but it will sometimes hit 100s. Like, or 100% of its damage, which is like a 30. Instead of doing 30 damage, 30 damage, 30 damage every time you get hit, what if it was a 0 to 30 and it kind of rolled the damage? Because Thorns is too strong right now because it max hits every single hit, but it counts as a melee hit. But I don't understand why Thorns is rolling the max hit every time. You know what I mean? So balancing in leagues, this is something that's really tough to do. I understand that, but it could be fixed very easily. You push Thorns before it even began. Well, that's because I tested leagues for 6 hours and I figured out that Thorns was the best. Like, I figured it out really, really quick. Like, I knew that this was busted. It broke the game. I AFK'd Inferno and Coliseum with Thorns. Like, it was disgusting. You checked foes guide? No, I never looked at any. I've never seen a foes guide. I don't think that's an issue though, to be honest. I'm torn between playing osrs or TBC. I mean, they're both good games, bro. So that, I don't know, guys. That was my thought. I don't know if they can balance. I don't know if they can balance the builds in leagues or anything like that. But I do think that the Thorns idea was a cool idea, but it shouldn't max it every time because it was kind of a little bit too game breaking. Another thing was like I think that the two-handed weapons in the game should probably be very strong, right? I don't see a lot. I saw a lot of people rocking like one-handed builds plus Thorns, and that combination was really cool. But I don't really see anybody using mega rares. And I don't know if you really want something to go for at the end game. So if people lose interest in going for mega rares, it kind of, you need something to go for at the very late game. So I like the progression of like looking forward to getting a mega rare at the end game, because it gives you something to strive for towards the late game as well. And then you can kind of like complete your game. So I would love to see mega rares be great again in leagues. But again, that goes back to like the balancing issue, right? It goes back to the balancing thing. I like that the mega rares aren't super OP. To be fair, all the last 5 leagues, the mega rares focus. So personally, I'm enjoying that the mega rares aren't the best option this league. See, this is great that you guys have played multiple different leagues so that you can weigh in your opinion as well. Because I can only speak from my opinion on one league of what I thought. What I think of this one. Mega rares were completely broken in Gridmaster. Dude, I didn't even get to play Gridmaster at all. So I don't even have that experience to go off of. Megas being good gives you a lot of time with the OP build. There was a Kopesh. Okay, the Kopesh. I heard a lot about the Kopesh item as well. Every league has something OP and something that sucks. Last one was melee. Mage was complete trash. This time Mage was super OP and range is weak. I did hear that the T-Bow was pretty good in the last league. But that's just from what I heard. And the Kopesh was sick too. I guess for most people like you that aren't at Megas yet in the main game, you're probably looking forward to using them a lot. Yeah, so I was really looking forward to getting my 5 scythes and doing the blind bag build. And so far it's been really fun. I got my 2 scythes and it's hitting really hard. Even though I think No Monkey is saying that maybe scythes aren't the best DPS for blind bag anymore because of chances to proc range. I think he's kind of theory crafting with that a bit. I haven't looked into it too much, but maybe mock waddles might end up being better because of the double hit. Because something about the scythe triple hit doesn't proc ranged echoes or doesn't have a chance to proc your blind bag. So yeah. Double hit and haste, something like that. Okay, so I haven't looked into that too much, but maybe boppers are actually better than the scythe in your blind bag, which is definitely unique. Megas are fun to use when you're OP. Absolutely, absolutely. I'd like to use a fast scythe. They don't have they didn't reduce any ticks off of the mega rares, right? No, they did. They did. You have 2 tick shadow. You couldn't reduce tick off scythe. You could reduce T-bow to 3 tick, shadow to 2 tick, but you can't reduce the scythe. You couldn't reduce the tick on the scythe. Scythe in the Gridmaster was half speed. Okay, so did scythe kind of go crazy in Gridmaster? Yo, random. Thank you very much for the prime, by the way. I just saw that. Legend, my friend. I appreciate the support. So those were kind of, I want to just have that discussion with you guys to see what you were thinking about leagues. If there was anything you would change about it. I personally, just real simple TLDR. I would have had nothing locked behind quests, but still let the quest be optional for XP. I would like a 2x dry on everything. Going dry in leagues does not feel good at all. You know, like having to kill Zulrah 300 times, and it took me it was 12 hours of grinding Zulrah. that was tough for me until I went with the meta build to kill Zulrah faster. That was really the only thing I didn't enjoy of the league experience, was going dry on Zulrah. So there's a lot of the game that you don't get to play. They force you to roll an alt if you want to unlock the game. There's so many echo bosses I didn't get to try. I would have loved to try new bosses that I didn't get a chance to play, but they're locked behind different zones. So maybe giving you the ability to lock your league points and unlock all the zones so you can just have fun and you're not farming points from other zones. I think that could have been a really cool addition to the game. I would have loved to try more builds. I would have loved to try every build. I wanted to try Water Mage. I want to try Air Mage. I wanted to try Crossbow with Thorns. I wanted to try Mage with Thorns. So maybe the ability, if you play a lot, to unlock more resets in your talent tree could be fun. So you could play Air Mage one day, you could play Blind Bag another day, you could play One Tick with Thorns another day, as long as you're playing and you're getting like maybe every boss in the game has a chance to drop a awakened reset orb or something that you can reset your talent, so you can collect some resets. I think that would have been really cool. Even if it just dropped from the raid or something like that, you could farm build resets so that you could try out different builds. I think that would have been so sick. And then I would have liked to seen Thorns not hit 100% if Thorns could still proc 0, so it wasn't so OP. And then I would have liked to see Mega Rares kind of be at least involved. I think Tumikin Shadow was probably the best play for a Mega Rare because of the 2-tick. That made people probably look forward to getting that. The Blind Bag Scythe thing was cool. I was looking forward to getting my Scythes. They're still very good, and I liked that was included. And then the 3-tick T-bow, probably some people were doing that. I didn't see many people going for a T-bow in this leagues, but having the Mega Rares being a little bit more involved, or I just think that in general, just straight up, two-handed weapons should do more damage than one-handed weapons. That was kind of how I was feeling. Like that's the simplest way to put it, is like a one-hander and a shield I don't think should ever do more damage than a two-handed weapon. I don't know if they can balance that. Leagues are supposed to be a fun game where you just kind of break the game, so it's not a huge deal, but in general, two-handed weapons I think should be better than one-handed. That's all. So those were kind of my takes. Is like I wish I could have gotten to play every zone and try everything, even if I didn't get points for doing it, just for fun, without having to remake another account. More resets to try out all the builds, and just in general, like I wanted to play more. So I want to play more when I've finished the game and look forward to doing things, but there's nothing else I can unlock. There's no new bosses I can do or anything like that. So I would love to just have more to play, I guess. And locking yourself to 3 zones is not it. It felt a bit limiting. It comes down to wanting to experience more and try more. It's fun. It was really fun. But I felt like I could have gotten another week. Like if they unlocked the whole game, I could have gotten another week of gameplay out of it. I could have went and soloed Cox, and practiced my movement more. But I'm locked. I can't do Cox. I don't have Karen. I could have I could have taken Jay and taught him, like we could have went and we could do Godfly. You can go practice Godfly in leagues where you can practice the movement without, if you have Eternal Sustenance and Flask, if you're messing up the clicks, right? You could just eat through it and you could use it. I love the idea of using leagues as like a simulator for the main game. And when you only have access to 3 areas or 5 areas total rather, you can't go and practice and use it as a simulator, right? And I think that's what leagues has such a good opportunity to do. And so I would love the ability to do that if at all possible. The only way you can do it is to make another account, do all of the things over again, and And that's just how it is. There will be next leagues to do more things and pick new zones. Yeah, I guess you can wait until next leagues. Yeah, that's always one thing you can do. But this leagues was really, really good. I loved the talent tree in this leagues, and I really think that a lot of times people have trouble seeing how much fun things are when they're in the moment. I think a lot of people will think very highly of this league in a month or two, like after it's over. They'll look back and say this was the best league, because people just have trouble when they're actually in the moment, when they're in the room. They have trouble admitting like this is a good time, right? And when they look back on it, they get nostalgic and they're like, that league was sick. Like the talent trees and going in and one thorns with 1 tick power staff was awesome. And people will say that was so much fun. And I think that this league was amazing. But I think it's also at the same time, it's good to look at what was great and then what you could possibly improve on. The talent tree, I freaking loved it. I absolutely loved the talent trees and being able to do different builds, and that felt super unique to me. I loved it. I loved cheesing Inferno and Coliseum. Yeah, just no pillar Coliseum, no pillar Inferno was a lot of fun. The flask was incredible, just being able to hit that. Also, sometimes like when you would die and you hit a flask on the same tick, you'd come back to life. Dude, that was so much fun. I loved that. I loved Eternal Sustenance, just being able to like eat through your mistakes. That was, for me, Eternal Sustenance and Flask, like that was peak leagues for me. I just freaking loved it so much. To my benefit of being slow, I do have half the league to experience still, so that's chill. There you go. If you're, playing at your own pace, you probably still have a lot more leagues to go. I was a bit degenerate. The first day, I played probably 18 hours or more. Second day, like 14 hours, and I just was doing 14-hour sessions like every day. Until I beat it. So it's very addicting. How many points did you end with? I got enough points to unlock my 3rd zone, and then I stopped immediately. So I want to say 30,000 is how many you needed to unlock all the zones. Right around there. 28K. Okay, 28K. And then I did a lot of raids. I did probably 20 different hard mode TOBs. Learning hard mode TOB, I also really, really loved learning hard mode TOB. Like, you guys have no idea how much better I got at TOB from doing it in leagues. It is so hard to learn how to do TOB when you have no idea what's going on. But in leagues, I can just eat through everything. I could just Eternal Sustenance through all of my mistakes, Flask when I get low, immune mechanics that would kill me. And I know that I would die there in the regular game, but I'm not dead now. I get to keep going, and I learn at a 10 times faster rate. Leagues is the place to learn the game. It is so good for learning the game. And I am... Twisted Bow? No way. Yo. Is that in the main game? I think that's in the main game. Holy shit. He had his iron. It was on the iron logo. That is crazy, bro. 3 T-bows in 3 days. That is insane. League's broadcasts are disabled in the CC. Okay, perfect. That's much better. Dude's probably screaming right now. Yeah, that is the drop of all time, man. That's why I chose Mortania. I've never done it on my main, and I wanted to give it a shot before I go back. One of the reasons I chose Mortania is because I wanted to practice TOB. I wanted to use it as an opportunity to learn, and that's exactly what I did. And I would say it was the best decision. I feel so much more confident in TOB now, and I could tell the difference because I was the person who was dying in TOB when we were trying to run them. Me and the WoW players. I was the one who was dying a lot in TOB, and now I'm the one who's going all the way to the end now, and I could tell because Gordon was much better than me at TOB, and now I'm doing better than Gordon because of all the practice that I got in leagues. And so that's just what you can do with leagues, is you can just really learn the game, and it's awesome.